Ladies and gentlemen, so Gistlover is back once again, this time around to finish up the story of singer Tuface Idibia and of course Annie Macaulay Idibia. You all know the recent breakup. Tuface had announced that he had been separated from Annie for a while now, and that what he said is what he said, meaning, look, I am out. I don't want nothing to do with this woman anymore. Tuface is a man who likes to do what he likes to do. He has other children, and Annie is the one that stayed back. In fact, Annie is the youngest of all the women that we know, and it has been announced that they had a child for Tuface. There are a lot of talks here and there, insinuation back, left, and center. Some people are even suggesting that certain persons that Tuface respect should come and mediate. Now, Tuface came out to say, look, you guys don't know they have. Just keep your mouth shut and mind your business. Let me live my life. You are not the one living my life. He even talked about how he was sick, he had kidney failure, and he had no honey beside. Honey had gone to make money, and he went for the reality show. Now, some people have said that reality show, Annie constantly puts it on the face of Tuface that you are a cheat, you are ungrateful. I gave you all my love, I gave you this and that, blah, 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 all of that. And I know that that reality show is came about using the true background stories that people know. Was Tuface comfortable with this at the beginning? I don't know. And he went into this show and it became the reality of the reality, even though some of it are scripted, but it still revolves around their reality. So, Annie is somewhere. I don't know. She's kind of dealing with the separation that she probably thought was never going to come. Some people have rooted for Annie. They say she's a good woman. She's a loving woman. Some said, oh, he groomed her. Talks right, left, and center. Talks right, left, and center. Come on. People will always say what they want to say. There are people who are rooting for Tuface, while some people are rooting for Annie. Now, let us go back to some of the stories. Tuface had a child with a lady called Sumbo, and there's another one called Pero. Now, Sumbo is from a wealthy family. She had a child for Tuface, and her family said, no, we don't want a gold digger, not even a musician. We don't want you. We don't want a singer. We will keep that child, raise that child, but nothing of marriage is going to happen. So, Pero Adeniyi, who is a Nigerian American, took Tuface to another level with money, spoiled him with money and few gigs. Being a rich kid those days, remember Tuface just had his first child with Sumbo. And Sumbo family insisted they wouldn't allow daughter stay with him. Also, remember, Annie broke up with him because of the child, but they kept in touch somehow. Being the happening star back then, lots of women chopped Tuface banana clean mouth. One thing led to another, and Pero fell in love. Before we could say Jack Robinson, Pero also got pregnant and gave birth on April 26, 2006. Which makes it Tuface's second child. Sumbo gave him the first. Sumbo cried foul then and was everywhere with Tuface's mama as per she invested in her own in-laws. So they got her back. The mama begged her and told her the only way to curb Tuface's bola now by moving in with Tuface's first child. The mama know the kind of son way she get. Tuface refused at first, but after much pleas from mommy, he agreed. So himself and Sumbo Ajala moved in, and we are living as couple for 3 good years. 3 years. They were actually planning to get married when Sumbo got pregnant again and gave birth to their second baby on April 29, 2008. The second baby was Tuface's third baby, as he had one child with Pero as at then. Annie, who was now a side chick, then saw she was about to lose her spot, so she swung into action. No Babalawo house that Annie didn't visit in Festac then. She got so depressed because, according to her explanation, she was with this man through thick and thin. Now other women want to reap where they didn't sow. Annie rekindled a love that even Tuface, Tuface could not. Tuface himself got confused. The thing about a man, that likes women. So both of them started doing their things unknowingly to Sumbo. All along, while she was in Tuface's house, he was seeing Pero and Annie together. To cut long story short, Tuface got Pero pregnant again while Sumbo was in the house. Annie, seeing she was about to be left out, also intentionally got pregnant for Tuface to claim her space back. So in one word, Pero and Annie gave birth at the same time, not far from when Sumbo gave birth to her second child. So in one word, Tuface impregnated 3 of them at the same time in 2008. He just put his gola in and then, he dropped all of those kids that you're saying. Sumbo gave birth to her second child on April 29, 2008. Pero gave birth to a second child for Tuface on May 7, 2008, which happens to be Pero's third child. Take note of that. Pero has a child before he met Tuface. Now, you're getting the picture. Pero is one from the US. She had a child before she met Tuface. So she is a single girl or single mother. Let's put it that way. So Pero's first child is not for Tuface. So when Pero was counting third child, Tuface was counting second child with her. The same 2008, Annie finally joined the queue and gave birth to her first child for Tuface on December 10, 2008. Now, this is where the real gist starts from. After seeing all the madness and Sumbo saw that Tuface is not going to change, expecting 2 other babies from 2 women when she gave birth not so long, is the height of it all. Sumbo left Tuface's house over infidelity with different women. Thankfully, they had not done the marriage. After leaving Tuface, the score to settle was between Pero and Annie. Pero claimed Annie snatched his man. Annie claimed she has always been in the picture. Please note all of these times. Annie started smoking and drinking to stupor just to escape depression. She tried other relationships during the on and off with Tuface, but none worked as she loves Tuface a lot. She's kind of tied to the star thing, like, this is my star. This is my star. Everyone wants to associate, that kind of thing. Tuface moved back to Pero, but it didn't work out too. Then in 2010, he rekindled his love with Annie and they got serious again. After seeing they rekindled their love, Tuface and Pero strikes again. Boom! Pero got pregnant in 2011 again, which makes it Pero's 4th child, but 3rd child with Tuface. However, this time, Tuface had already made up his mind, no going back on Annie. He proposed on Annie on Valentine's Day, February 14, 2012, while Pero welcomed her 4th child, April 8. Now, you guys, you begin to connect the dots together. A lot of things had to be put in place for Tuface to now settle with Annie. And he said the reason why he settled with Annie is not because he loves Annie. I need you to understand that there are ways that people have conditioned themselves or have been conditioned. Don't forget that this thing called love works in 2 ways. You can be stupidly in love with someone who is beating you, oppressing you. I think it's called Stockholm Syndrome, where you embrace someone that is hurting, afflicting you. This definition of love is not always the same for everybody. Some will say love is what they feel at that time. After all, you say you're in love with someone, you love this person so much, so endlessly, and then something happens along the line. What happens next? You are with someone else. Is it that person that you are with, you don't love the person? So love is what you feel at a certain time. That's what you have given your thought or your heart towards at a certain time. That is if you are not bewitched. And don't forget that we all have different levels of maturity, or let's say different ways of handling. Just as how people handle situations. They handle hectic situation differently, pressure differently. That is the same way people handle love differently. But because of the stories and movies that we see, they've made it appear as if there is just one way. No, there are ways that people handle this thing called love differently. You know, that's just a thing. So, Tuface married Annie because Annie was from a broke family, if you know what I mean. So she felt, well, this one is from a broke family. These other two, things are fine by them. They can even take care of these kids somehow without stress. So let me add value to Annie's life by marrying Annie. Some said this is called marriage pity marriage. Yeah. So while Pero welcomed their third child on April 8, 2012, the same year Tuface proposed, was the same year Pero gave birth to her third child for Tuface. Just 2 months apart, it was from one scandal to the other then. We all thought Tuface was going to marry the two of them because the rivalry was out of this world. Tuface's mom never wanted him to marry any of the women. According to her, Annie is bitter and does not greet some of Tuface's family due to the past trauma and how the mother supported Sumbo. But according to Tuface, where will Annie start from? She was with him when he had nothing. She used her body to push his career. He is repaying her for all the good deeds she did to him, and nothing will change his decision. Pero tried all she could, but Tuface stood his ground. They later had their destination wedding in Dubai, March 2013. After the wedding, their lives never remained the same again. Annie became a totally different person. After the wedding, she gave birth again and it's a girl again. All hell was let loose. Maybe it was postpartum depression. She fought Tuface, accusing him of intentionally giving her female sperm and giving Pero and Sumbo all his male sperm. Can you see the level of frustration? As if it's a man that decides what to give. It is just destiny. It's destiny. That's what it is. It's destiny. I know some science have tried to explain how it works. They say it is actually the egg of the woman that determines what comes in. Like there are millions of sperm rushing towards this egg. And this egg can only take what it is attracted to. Science has proven it, that it is not just a rush and who gets there first and that there are certain chemicals, or let's put it that way, that there are certain chemicals or certain, let's just leave it at substance, let me call it substance, that the egg puts out there. And when it gets that response from which of the sperm, any of the sperm, it will attract it, open and close. So the woman also will choose, I want a woman, female, or a male, or both, twins and all of that. So it is what it is. So she accused him of giving him. It was a serious issue as Annie kept harassing Tuface and stopped him from seeing his other kids. And he allowed the kids to come over too. It got so bad that Annie will lock herself and Tuface in the house, cry and spoiling things just so Tuface won't have access to go out or see his kids. On several occasions, she damaged Tuface's car just so he would not go out. He visited married counselor up to no avail. She was frustrated. She wanted a male child. To make things right and make Annie feel safe, Tuface bought some of his properties in Annie's name. What else can a man do? Like, listen, you have assurance. Yes, you have girls. But regardless, whatever it is that happens between us, money na water, don't worry, you will have something. So don't begin to say male child as if, I don't know the culture where, I think it's Idoma or somewhere, I think it's from Benue, Tuface. I don't know their culture, but like in the Southeast, among Igbos, female children are not given nothing unless the man chooses to change from the norm, from the mode, from their oppression, from their lifestyle, culture. Female children are like, you're on your own, no property. Don't go and take my thing and give to another man, is my soil. Let your husband do his own too. Male children are giving, but the Southwest is different. There's nothing like you're a male or whatever. Every child is equal, male and female. So they have advanced in their own part in the Southwest. In the Southeast, it's different. So in the Middle Belt, where Mr. Idibia is from, I don't know, maybe such things. And Annie, she's from, let's say, the south of Nigeria. So I don't know why she feels within her the male child, unless the culture of the man, and the man is telling you, my male children will take over. Or she just wants someone that will bear the name Idibia, so it won't go. I want my children to bear Idibia. So these are part of the issues. And she looks like someone who is unwilling to let go. That's one thing I've observed. I've profiled her long time. I mean, long time before now. We are talking of over, profiling someone for over 15, 18 years. Profiling them. I've seen that she's someone who does not let things go. She doesn't let go. She's someone who is selfless. She can go all the way for you. And it is the same way, the same energy she puts into whatever. She will not let go. Like, no, I'm not. What if? But your children can bear their father's name as middle if they get married. Their father is a famous, popular person, so they don't need to take off. But she will not agree. She wants that man, that boy. Annie locked Tuface's mother outside their estate and instructed she should not be allowed in. Now, that's a big one. Regardless of your depression, if you tamper with the mother of a guy that loves his mom, particularly if mommy has done some underground spiritual assistant to help his son to shine, you're on your own. Sooner or later, you'll be kicked out of the house. But Tuface, both of them, at least, they lasted a bit long because it would have crashed like long time. Long time. Now, Tuface's brothers didn't find it funny. They all stood up in defense of their brother and mother, but Tuface fought them silly, saying he loves his wife and that they should not interfere. So it means that he also sacrificed, like, I'll protect her. I mean, how many men will do this? How many men will do this? How many men will embrace that woman, their wife, in place of their mother, when that woman has done so terrible things to their mother? I know that Tuface's mother has also done her own thing. That's why this guy said, okay, let me put a balance. I won't offend my wife. I won't offend mommy. I will pamper them and pretend like I'm oblivious to whatever it is that's happening. Because you don't want to cross the path and create problems with your wife and your mother. It's a serious issue. But if you're a mommy's boy, your wife can never be good enough. That kind of. But if the guy is now successful, your mom, she becomes your wife automatically. It's a big issue that you as a man, you need special wisdom to deal with it. And one of the approach to this is, as long as there is no physical abuse, make sure you don't get in between by supporting one against the other, but call out whatever it is that is wrong. Wife misbehave, call it out. Hey, don't speak that, don't act this way to my mom. This is not right. Mom say, mom, this is my wife. It's my wife. Stuff like that. But never take side. And never ever stop what you do to your wife and what you do to your mom. Make sure they are getting it endlessly. Even if your mom returns the provisions or let's say money, I don't want. Go and stay with your wife. Keep sending it. Even if it gets spoiled, keep sending. Find a way to mediate your mom. Find someone to mediate between. Prostrate, as an African, lay on the ground. Mommy, sorry, hold her leg. I'm sorry. Forgive me. You meet your wife too. Honey, take it easy. As long as you can. Until you are ready one day and say, okay, I think I need a break. And I think that's what Tuface said. Look, I need a break. I've gotten to this age. She is 49. Soon he'll be 50. He said, no, I want to live the rest of my life 50 to 60 in peace. I've sacrificed and given to you too. I've married you at least. It is on record. And if we break apart, you have houses on your name. And if you want to go by a divorce, let's share the property. You can go ahead. Tuface must have thought about it, I believe. He must have thought about this thing. So he didn't agree back then. Annie graduated from giving Tuface trouble at home to monitoring him, private investigator, trailing him, and disgracing all the women he meets with Tuface. In fact, I observed that on the show, on the reality show. Even though some of these things are scripted, one person was, I am Tuface. Oh, where did you know him? Well, it was like, well, it's part of the show anyway. It's entertainment. It's called entertainment. That's basically what it is. So, that kind of thing, disgrace In fact, at some point, Tuface had a buzzing club in Ikeja, GRA. He had a club to use as side hustle. Since new artists, are always, coming out every day. So Tuface is like, look, I cannot compete with this new generation of music artists, guys, let me do something. So he got a club. Music is not going to be the only thing, and real estate, having places to rent is not, it needs to be more. So the guy got a club, the club was doing so well, and it was quite popular then. Annie Macaulay disrupted the club at every given opportunity. She will come there, make trouble, scatter. She goes after any female staff, customer. Imagine, she comes, hey, who are they? Like, oh, this club, this guy opened is an opportunity for him to have access to women. So she will come there, she will break, she will scatter, she will fight, customer, staff. On several occasions, she had poured drinks on Tuface. Publicly. Poured drinks on his face. Disgraced him. Tuface will go home. On another occasion, she embarrassed him in front of his staffs and business associate. Like, that kind of thing. People respect you. Tu baba. And then this woman comes. It reminds me of what in this reality show. This young and famous reality show. It reminds me of one of the dialogue where one of them said, listen, I've got problems. I'm talking of the lady that had this rapper girl lady that had I think partner, or let's just say partner, passed away, mysterious. I think he was shot or something. She said, I have problems too. I have even more problems. You still have your partner cheating, right? Mine is not even here. I have been trying to kind of reconnect and see what to do with my life, but it's not just working. But I refused. I will not be moving in destruction. I will not be living my life. I will not be walking in destruction. Destroying everything that comes. That's basically what Annie was doing. So, she did all of this until she ruined the club, and Tuface was stranded at some point, meaning he didn't have enough money anymore to send child support to his children in the US and all of that. Things weren't fine. He was struggling. And the worst of it is this. Whenever this fight happens, Annie will stop and restrict Tuface from seeing his kids. Yeah. Annie was gradually losing herself, all in the name of taming Tuface's Bola. From smoking, she started doing extra, taking substance. Tuface didn't teach her how to do this substance thing, as people are saying. And I want to believe that Tuface does not need to teach Annie. Annie is not one girl in the convent. She's also from a rugged, so forget all of these things that Tuface taught her how to. If you move around people who are into this industry, definitely you pick up one or two things. So Annie learned it from some of our old friends in the University of Calabar. That's it. They were doing the thing then. She told her she can escape her worries with it. Their house, which is very close to Toke Makinwa, Tiwa Savage, and Ayo Makun. Tuface's house was the headquarters of these things. Of course, music. They sponsored it, and Annie was in charge of the supply. Most of all the celebrities assembled in their house to do all sorts of atrocities. It was safe to call their house Sin City headquarters. They all gathered there, get high. After Annie chased all Tuface's family from visiting them, she took turn to chase all his friends too. She doesn't allow them visit Tuface. She said they were the one teaching him bad habits. She then brought her own brother and family to the house and hired up to 4 maids and security. Tuface's family and friends fought Honey, but Tuface stood for her, saying they are all against his wife. Honey got so addicted to this substance thing. Whenever she gets high, she starts misbehaving, breaking things in the house. She even goes violent on Tuface. On 2 occasions, Tuface was bleeding from the injury gotten from Annie. So talk about domestic violence. You guys need to understand these things too. Yeah. He was patient. If you meet a man who is in this kind of industry or lifestyle, you have to decide as a woman, do I want to marry him or not? Most men that are into these things, they don't really want to marry nobody. It is the woman that will keep, hey, you are not going to ask me out. You are not going to give me the ring. I'm not like I'm just giving you reality. Not like I'm making excuses on behalf of Tuface. I'm just saying there are certain men that are like this. This is what they have chosen. The same way people choose to be part of a religion and stick with the extremism of it, either Islam, Roman Catholic religion, and they will tell you no, or whatever belief that you have. I'm just giving you an example how people stick to some lifestyle or way of life or whatever. That's what's Tuface. That's the kind of person. So it's like when I make example of Davido and Chioma, people are like, no, don't bring Chioma. You don't matter to me if you like her or don't like her. It's not even the issue here. It's not about like, it's about reality. Chioma knows the kind of life Mr. David Adeleke lives and probably will continue to live, and also the profession. And he has sang it in his song. What else? Don't you know the kind of thing I do? So many of them believe this is how it is supposed to be. It's like telling a reggae artist, a Rastafarian, not to smoke weed. It doesn't make sense. You can't. It's like it goes side by side. So that's how it is. So whatever happens after, Chioma knows I signed up for this, regardless of how painful it is. That's it. So domestic violence. The situation was so bad, Tuface became a shadow of himself. Before you know it again, he started talking to Pero. You see? He started talking to Pero like, oh my God, this woman has become a walk in destruction. I can't keep with this anymore. So both of them reignited old flames. Annie got wind of it and swore heaven was going to fall. She said she would rather arrange Olosho, let me put it that way, for Tuface rather than Pero. It was fire for fire, battle. Then, as she keeps setting her groups of friends to drag Pero, the matter even got to the court as Pero said, look, I'm not going to accept this, defamation of character, violence against me, and all of that. That was how Annie graduated to bringing different girls to their house. She will arrange some for Tuface and arrange some for herself. Can you imagine? She will bring girls, like, they will do the 3-4 song. She thought that would tame Tuface, but she lied to herself. That didn't do shit. It didn't work. Tuface was still in contact with Pero and some other women outside their marriage. The marriage became a nightmare. Tuface started sleeping in hotel, avoiding Annie Wahala, because most times they don't allow neighbors sleep in peace. Annie will keep screaming her lungs out. Tuface was coming to the house to pick clothes and run away from Annie in the house. His family were fighting him. He lost friends. He lost business partners. Above all, kidney problems set in, of course, due to abuse of alcohol. This made him spend a lot of money on himself. He almost went broke. One would think Annie would let him breathe after this, but no, it got worse. On several occasions, Tubaba would be rushed to the hospital over Annie's matter. Blood pressure started setting in. Family and friends became so worried. Now, some people will be like, then why don't you stop this, you're cheating if that's what it is? Well, we can as well say that the marriage between Annie and Tuface can be likened to that of Bimbo and IVD. The Bimbo that took her life. And the IVD that is now with, what's it called? The lady that talks and says a lot of things. Very toxic. Very toxic. Theirs is even more toxic than Bimbo's own, because Annie, at some point, will inflict injury on herself and on Tuface. It was that toxic. Now, with the health condition of Tuface, Annie did not let him be. Yes. Some decisions that we make in life let's say some of it you might be like it comes from youthful exuberance. Because if his Bola is not functioning, he won't be doing all of these things, right? These things will haunt you. It will haunt you. Even though at times they do this to a lovely couple online, but behind the scene, life was bad. So it got to a time Tuface went broke. When Tuface became broke, yes, there was Tuface went broke. When I say broke, he had few income coming in. More was going out So it means that he can barely do what he would like to do. That was when Annie really came out stronger. Annie became more aggressive. Annie became all things bad. On 2 different occasions, Tuface had caught Annie with other men. Yes. So don't think this thing is a one-way thing. When Tuface became broke, Annie said, hey, you no get money again. There is no money for him to be frolicking with different women or anything. Then she started. So Tuface caught Annie with one fake pastor. But she begged and said, I am sorry. I just wanted to make money for the family. Since there is no money to live life. So I offered my pekus so that I can get money. So he can give me money. Tuface's family were totally shut out of his life, and he only allows who she wants to allow. His health was deteriorating so bad that year he was depressed and sick at the same time. To now make matters worse, Annie got pregnant again. Now, before you begin gender war, I need you to take time to process this. Put it like this: if this was my brother, if this was my sister, I think that's the best way, because people can be like that. That's what I want you guys to do. Judge some of these things for yourself. Annie got pregnant and she had to get rid of it. Her reasons were because the scan said it's another girl child. She got furious and started fighting Tuface again. She had fought all Tuface's family, friends, even driver. Annie fired this driver that had been driving Tuface before Tuface became big. Annie accused him of taking his husband to side chicks. The man later fell ill and Annie stopped Tuface from giving him money. The driver later passed away without getting full support that Tuface had promised. Annie fought her own manager and also Tuface's manager. It was from one fight to the other. She got so addicted to her substance that at some point, Tuface wanted to take all his children to his mom so she can raise them, but Annie disagreed. Now, remember, Annie was bringing different girls to their home. And unfortunately, one of these girls got pregnant. Annie almost buy this promo show. Annie made sure she got rid of the child before they frustrated her out of Lagos. Can you imagine? They were bringing girls. I know the way these guys operate. Let me tell you how these people operate. People that go into this length, they have money. So what they do is this. They have hospitals that these girls go to check on their health condition, meaning those infections that you can give. So once you are clean, you have a clean bill, and it will be done every week, thereabout, or something like that. Because imagine how Tuface will put his gbola just like that. So, Tuface on the other side didn't stop going out to satisfy his wandering gbola, and he got to hear of it again and hired some private investigators to trail Tuface around. On several occasions, Annie would just disappear uninvited at Tuface's location and come there to cause sin and embarrass him. This was the order of the day in their marriage. On several occasions, he throws him bottle, tear his clothes. There was a time a boy recorded them and wanted to send a video to the blog. Annie made sure she arrested the boy and made him sign an undertaking to release anything. Now, back to why they broke up this 2024, last year. Yes, early 2024, they broke up. They have been separated for a while now, but Tuface just made it public this year when Annie won't stop harassing him. It happened that after the whole back and forth with different girls, the domestic violence he suffered in Annie's hands, Tuface realized that if care is not taken, this woman will unalive him and possibly depend on unalive herself, but mostly unalive him. So he needed to do what he needed to do. And that is why he said, look, enough is enough. I am out.